Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going into episode 2 of breaking down Kymatica, a documentary made by Benjamin Joseph Stewart roughly 10 years ago, I want to say. The first episode I talked about the relationship between sound and matter, using the example of the sand on a board. And you project frequencies through it, it creates different shapes. And my personal belief is that is how that is what our God or higher power creator is that relationship between those two, the elements of the world and the frequencies that are running through it. I wanted to go into at the end of that video, I was talking about going into how language and sound could affect objects such as a flame. There was accounts of shamans in the past that were able to, when they spoke, their words and sound were so powerful that it could affect the flame and making it larger or smaller or change the color. Which I need more time to work on that. That's way out of my wheelhouse, and I want to get it right. I don't want to just be me yelling at a flame trying to make it do something. So I wanted to back up and go talk about the intro to the documentary, which I'll play for you now.
Evolution is a term to define only one organism, and that's the self. The self is the universe, the self is the alpha and omega, God and infinity. And that's the only thing that evolves, because we are all part of the self. Nothing goes through an evolutionary process alone, or without direct benefit to the whole. So when you begin to think that there's this controlling elite, this controlling hand behind the curtains leading the planet to destruction, when you think the end is near, the apocalypse, Armageddon, and when you think we as a species are doomed, it is not they, it is you that brought this about. And for a very good reason. You are evolving. Stop blaming everybody and everything else. Quit panicking about global tyranny and natural disaster and pay attention. Because the world is telling you something, is telling you exactly what is wrong with you and how to fix it.
Alright, so as you heard him say in the beginning that evolution is a term to describe the growth of, the self, or the universe. So I'm going to read the definition of evolution. The process by which different kinds of living organisms are thought to have developed and diversified from earlier forms during the history of the Earth. That is from the Oxford Dictionary. We are collectively evolving all the time, which is where I think the self, the evolution of the self, and the self being everything, makes sense. Everything that's living is evolving together at different speeds for different species or different ideas of evolution. It could be physical, it could be mental, spiritual, political, all the different types. But we're all doing it together all the time. And when he talks about the upper echelon, or the higher ups, the people in power, they have power, but they're not the sole responsibility for our evolution. It is a collective effort between all of us to get to the point where we are today. I think it's even more, I think our evolution as a species is even more evident and clear today, having gone through what we have in the past 2 years. we are seeing the byproduct of, I think, more of a conscious evolution. And in this moment, our evolution has split, I believe, into, I'll say, 3 categories. You have if you want to, the left-leaning people and the right-leaning people and people in the center. And I don't know if I don't think there is like a definitive end to the evolution, and I feel like these different groups of people have this idea of evolution having this end point, like we're getting to this point in our evolution and that's it, which I don't think is possible. I think it's going to continue always with different ideas and beliefs. I recently took the what is it called? I'm looking at my notes here. I took my political compass test because I haven't taken it in a while, and I'm almost smack dab right in the middle. Like it is. I mean, it's literally like right in the middle. I'll pop it up on the screen, but it was interesting to see that I just fall right in the middle. Like I don't feel like before I took the test that I fit into one side or the other. I felt like I was in the center, but it was just interesting to see it confirmed by this test. I mean, it's just a test. I don't feel like the questions were biased in any way. It was pretty open. Some of them were very ambiguous and vague. So yeah, I don't think there's a higher upper echelon of people trying to destroy our lives. I think the collective human species evolutionary byproduct is showing us what the world needs to reach a level of sustainability that will help us continue to live on without destroying ourselves, as some people would say. I don't know if that's possible until we start being accepting of each other's beliefs, which is really hard for the people that are on the far left and the far right. For me, being in the center, it's very easy for me to accept what both sides have to say, whether it comes to religion, gender, all the different topics that come up in between those two parties that just fight about it all the time. They're literally, both sides are just being bigoted towards each other in a non-stop, endless loop. And until we can stop, I don't know, we're going to continue to evolve no matter what. Yeah, this is a pretty tough one. This is a tough one to dive into and to break it down, but I think the main points are we are all part of the self. I believe that one giant organism living together. I don't think that the upper echelon have as much power as people like to put into their. I don't think they have as much power as people think they do. It's kind of like that movie Ants. Is it Ants or is it no? Like Bug's Life. You know, yeah. There's us as individual ants don't have a lot of power, but when we gather in numbers, we have a lot of power and can destroy all the grasshoppers, or at least put the grasshoppers in their place and show them that, you know, if we want to continue on, we need to work together and stop fighting over silly silly things that just don't really matter that much. But hopefully the next episode I'll be able to dive into the flame, sound affecting flame, if I can make it just something more of value than me just yelling at a flame and saying, trying to make it change. So, but I thank you for watching. Kind of rambled on there. Hit that like button if you liked the video, subscribe so you'll get notified, and hit the bell so you'll get notified when the next episode comes out. And let's evolve together in a positive way rather than being bigoted towards each other all the time.